Hey you guys, it's Nathan back with another video. I've been making tons of videos this past week on photo editing and trying to show you guys some of the different tips and techniques you can use in PhotoScape X. And spoiler alert for you guys, recently and just yesterday, I went on a photography spree. I went all throughout my city, my small little town that I live in, and I took a ton of photos. So some of these are embarrassing because I kind of just had a whole lot of fun with it. Others are photos that I really had a joy setting up, taking photos. I also made some mistakes as well, but I wanted to walk through with you guys some of these photos and what I learned or what were some of the things that I experienced on this photo shoot. And just so you guys know, this was quite the adventure. Yeah, I rode 3.3 miles on this trip, and I'm going to make a full video showing you guys the fun, the excitement, but we're just going to look through a few of the photos so that you guys can see what I was able to do and then see some different editing tips, some different thought processes, and the full video will be coming as soon as it's all edited and taken care of. So let's hop into here. I have three different file sources here. I'm trying to see what I have in here. So I have a couple video, some video footage. I have these photos, and we can start with these. So these photos, and we can click on this and figure out exactly what camera I was using. I was using my FZ1000, so that's my Panasonic Lumix camera. And these are just some texture shots that I got, and I'll explain, all the different shots and things in the full video. But it was really interesting to be able to click through and see what these were. You might wonder, oh, what is this weird like circle oval shape that I get? This is kind of an interesting thing on this Panasonic Lumix camera, is that this raw file format, it's nice, it's sharp, and there's a lot of detail in it, but it actually does need a lens correction on it when you shoot raw. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but you can go down here to lens profile correction. You're able to click on that, and yes, it finds the camera automatically, FC1000, and it fixes it to a pretty good extent. And I can maybe go back and double check what was the focal length this was shot at. It was 9.1 millimeters. Let's see. Lens correction 9.1.2. So yeah, it's about right. There's the scale, this is the distortion. Oh, and there's the scale as well, where it ends up getting scaled in. All right, so then you can do that. This image might need some sharpening and some different things, but that's simply what ends up happening sometimes with cameras that you shoot raw. Basically, what I had done was I went to a cemetery that was near where I live, and I took some pictures kind of to get some great textures. And textures are things that a lot of people overlook. So something like a texture like this, where it's nice, it's high quality. I can zoom way in on here and look at all that detail. Look at that. And that's stuff that, you could be like, oh man, it's looking around searching for stuff, but sometimes you just need a high detail shot of a texture or something for a background or for a poster or something like that. And it's so much better if you get it yourself instead of maybe, oh, am I allowed to use this? Oh, is this a free use photo or something like that? Running the risk of possibly getting in trouble if you use someone else's photo without giving them credit. And sometimes that can be a real complicated process. But I love the fact that you can just go up, take these pictures of this granite or these different stones, and yeah, you can get some different shots that look very, very interesting. Where you got, subject in focus here, the rock, and then you have it blurred in the background. It just depends on what kind of photos you're going to be using. But it was also really neat for me when I was looking through these, just some of the neat artwork or the neat things that were in there. I thought it was really cool to just take a look at all that stuff and also think about, maybe past relatives who have passed away and just remembering their lives as well. It's so important to remember that our lives, it's like a leaf or something like that, where it can be, you can look at it and say, hey, oh, isn't it beautiful and vibrant? But so quickly life wastes away, and it's making the most of those moments we have with the ones that we love. And yeah, just this photo here, just holding up a leaf and just seeing all that texture, the detail, just the glory of uh, what life and what this world is made of. It's so neat to see just all of the details and just the fine parts that just show such intentionality and such complexity in the world that we live in. I was trying to take some pictures that would showcase the sun. I was trying to do some different zoom stuff, but it just ended up being a bit too much of a hassle for me. What you're seeing here is you have, of course, this file that is a raw file, and then over here it has a full quality JPEG along with it. I thought this tree was just super cool because it just is, and my wife was saying it was a weeping willow tree, and I thought it was just super neat to see that angling and that shifting and stuff. And I thought that possibly if I go into the editor, and maybe not the editor, but into the cutout tool, I can go and maybe cut out this tree, and it would take me some time to get it to where it needs to be, but I could cut it out and maybe put it in something else, like maybe a more majestic background or something like that, instead of just a more or less countryside where you can see part of the town in there. But I thought the tree was just so cool, and I thought, oh, maybe I could use that for a project or something. And yeah, I had this picture where I zoomed in close, took some pictures of the American flag, and I really enjoyed, finding those opportunities, take those different pictures, trying to find, what would be the best shot that I could get. But, at a distance, so many times you lose that sharpness and that quality. So it's something to mess around with, but I just love this because, it's the United States of America, the country I love, and then it's also in the background, fall is here, which is my favorite time of year for sure. Let's see how this one turned out. Not too bad, not too bad. It all just depends. I didn't have a lot of time to take some of these shots, but yeah, just a few different photos in here. Going over to the second card, these are some older photos. Let's see. Here's some photos of me just hanging around at the house. I wanted to take a few shots, and I'll have to jump into the editor and do a rotation on here. Just a few shots of me at home, and it's trying to see, oh, what shots aren't like super awkward or all that. But it was just really fun for me to just mess around with my camera, taking some fun shots. My camera was being held up by a Joby GorillaPod. This is being shot with the Canon M50. And I really like how these turned out. I thought it was really fun. There might be a little bit of, distortion just because, oh, my head's super small, but, my feet are super huge. But that's just because of the position of the camera and how close things are away from the actual camera itself. What else do we have in here? There's some more or less embarrassing photos, but we won't hold those against me. I don't think anyone should hold photos against people. Yeah. But no, just really fun. And it's to get those kind of portrait shots, to get those things that you are kind of stoked about. And, looking back now, oh, I'm such a fool for, leaving that little scrap of paper on the side there. I'd have to fix that. How could you fix it? Yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the interesting side because you don't have the defined line at the bottom. And that curve is going to be a little interesting. We do have this transform thing, scissors. Does scissors help? No, that's a different thing, unfortunately. I could do a little bit with that real quick. So what I would do here in this situation, I would go to the clone stamp tool, and I would, whoa, sorry about that, guys. Grabbed the wrong slider. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click on this side of the image, and then I'm going to go and paste it on the other side of the image. Let's see. So let's figure out where I'm at. So I am, in this picture, I am 57, on the 5700th pixel. I'm looking down at the bottom middle of my screen where I see the size and where my cursor is at. So it's 353. Okay, so 353 from the side of the photo, the left side of the photo, if I'm remembering this correctly, and then all the way from the bottom, from the top to the bottom, is that amount. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So I am kind of selecting and trying to keep it similar on the line because I'm really trying to be precise over here. Moving this over to the other side. Trying to match this up fairly well. Okay, we'll call that good. How do we do? Yeah, it looks different. It does look different. Unfortunate. Huh. What could you do? You'd have to like really mess with it to get it to go. I don't know. I'll have to think about that maybe a bit more. But even at the worst case scenario, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't take away too much from the image. It's just something that would have been nice to be able to take it out. The professional way of doing it would be to cut out this and then flip it horizontally. It wouldn't take too long for me to do that. Let me do that for you guys real quick. I always say like, oh man, I'm just gonna make this nice little quicko video, and then I end up doing something really big and massive. So in this case, here's what I'm gonna do. I can't rotate this in the editor. I'd have to save it out, which I think is really, really unfortunate. So I'm gonna remove that. And I'm gonna remove this. Whoops, I'm gonna need to slide that tolerance down a whole lot lower. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna remove this wood. Okay. Let me just swing over to the brush here. I'm gonna make a cut there. I'm gonna go up here and cut this as well. Then I'm gonna do that fun lasso trick that I showed you guys. Basically, yeah, I'm just gonna go up and around, slice that whole thing out, bring it back together, and boom. Now we're down to just that last little bit of the image. So we have that. Gonna go to Magic Eraser. I'm gonna try to remove just what I want to remove here. Get that out of the way, get that out of the way. Okay. And I, of course, can go back and remove different parts if I deem it important enough. So I'm going to click in and I'm going to make sure I remove all this stuff as well. Okay, I want to remove this stuff. Okay, so we're going to call that good. Then I'm going to go to the editor, or I'm going to just go back. I'll just save it to desktop. That's fine. So I have that there. I go back to the editor. So I'm back in here. I've cut out this bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to go to Images. I'm going to paste it back in, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, so now that is perfectly set up right there in the bottom. As you can see, this is just the copy of this. Now, the question is, can I successfully move this over here and doing a rotation, which will be a horizontal flip. Oopsie, not horizontal flipped. I'm sorry, guys. Is it not a horizontal flip? Now I'm confused. Rats, I hate it when I do that. Let me think. There we go. It is a certain type of a flip. I just got it mixed up. I literally can put this on, and I don't know if anyone will notice. Ooh. Oh, man. Sometimes symmetry is so much fun. Okay, when you look at the original to where that is, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Should I stretch this? Make it a little larger? I can make it a little larger if I want to. Sure. Yeah, and then what you would do is when you get it all saved out, go back and blur this so it looks maybe a little better. Yeah, because you're not going to get a blend mode that's going to help you really. Nah, you don't want that. Blur it at the end. It'll probably look phenomenal. And that's how you do that, where you can get rid of that. But of course, you could have removed the entire thing, and then all your images wouldn't have to have that little edit there, because I probably wouldn't take the time to do it on all of them. just the ones that I decide are the absolute best. So a little tip in there. All right, so let's see. What else? These are just more photos from that cemetery out there. Just I couldn't resist to take this photo. The reason why is just because it's so much fun, you guys. You guys have no idea how much fun this is. PhotoScape, PhotoScape, what are you doing? Oh, I must have missed that. Okay, so zooming in here. It's just cool to get that geometric shape. I think it's really cool. Also, just look at all that fun detail in there, that free texture shot. I think it's pretty fun. I think it's cool. What else do we have in here? Have some different photos. I was trying to do this photo where I was gonna remove my hand from the photo. And did I end up getting the shots that I needed to make that a reality? I have this shot, which looks pretty cool. Like, I don't know why I keep hopping into the editor. I just think it's fun to hop in there. But like, yeah, you get some good detail on there. Just one leaf out there. What you could do is like color pop it. Basically, I can make all these other photos, like what I was showing in my most recent video where I show my pro blur kind of theory of or method of how to do this. You go into your cutout. Okay, now we're going to drop this new thing in. Perfect. So going to go into the cutout. What we're going to do is we're going to begin by blurring out the green. The leaf, that is. Wow, this is really interesting that it's actually not like jumping to other spots. Like I can turn this tolerance like up so high. That is super nuts that I was able to turn that up that high. I don't know if it needs to be that high, but I want that little green leaf there. Ooh, nope. I knew I was getting a little too confident with that. Come on. Cool, got that done. Let's go up a little bit. Nope, not that much. A little bit though. A little bit more. Nope, not that much more. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm just going to go into the brush and I'm going to remove this other stuff in here. I don't need to remove necessarily everything, but just enough. What the plan is to make that leaf stand out as kind of the main color. And then just be able to mute the other colors in this photo. So I think it's pretty cool when you're able to make those type of edits. So what I learned from that video, and I can go to this to show the different colors of what got masked. So I'll just leave it with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to cut out this image here. Then I'm going to hit invert mask. Uh-oh, careful guys. It looks like my PhotoScape X is like not as happy with me today. Okay, yes. Oh, I hit the invert mask while it was still trying to edit and stuff. It didn't like that. And here you are again. Now that is inverted. Look at that. Just look at how cool that was. So like this, we cut out just the leaf. So then the rest of it is there because it would take much longer to cut out the rest of it than just the leaf. We just hit invert mask and then you end up with this. It's so much fun. It's actually the perfect thing to, have that selected. But yeah, there's the leaf right there in all of its glory. All right, so then I can cut this out as well. So now I have both cut out. Oh, hit no. I need to make sure to name this differently or else I'm going to end up with some trouble. So I get those two cut out. Then I can hop over here to the editor. I can bring, let's see, I won't even have to, yeah, actually I do have to. Go over here to desktop, drop this image in. Let's close out. And we'll just drop this image in. So we have that there. One thing that I would encourage, just you go over here to the draw tool, get some colors from there. Let's see. Yeah, get some colors from around the photo. And what I would do is I would just draw in here. And the reason why, and you guys can go watch that blur video. This is kind of just another example of that blur video. But basically going in here and saying, hey, you can go and make those colors still in that image, just so you don't end up with some weird transparency stuff. But you're able to make, and if you're not adding a blur, you wouldn't have to. If you're just doing some other basic stuff, if you're using a blur, you have to do this step. If you're not using a blur, you wouldn't have to use this step. So I don't know. I'm just super stoked on the step right now. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Okay. I think that's pretty well good. Yeah, I think we're basically good in there. Maybe just like go around here one more time, just make sure it's all completely covered. Okay, cool. So we got that done. Then I can go back and I can insert the image back over again. Okay, go to 100%. We got that all back in. Looks pretty good. All right, so then I'm gonna go to save. I'm gonna save this out as cutout number 3. All right, cool. Then I can, as soon as this is done, I don't know, do I have something running or something that's slowing my PC down? I don't know. But then I can close out of all that. I can grab my number 3. Is this number 3? Yeah. So I dropped this one in. Perfect. Then I'm going to drop my leaf in. Oopsie. Hold on. I actually have to go to Insert tab before I can drag and drop the second object in. I can make sure that this is scaled to 100%. I'll just zoom in real close here. Yeah, this should work out really good. And I want to line it up just right. And yeah, the goal of lining stuff up, just find a spot of it and move it around till it looks like it's fitting back in its spot. I don't know how else I would technically describe it, but there you have it. It's back in. Now the background is totally under your control with the edit tab or the color tab or those other edits. So let's first show a blur. So I can go over here to adjustments. I can go to the blur and I can blur the image, and I can blur it without blurring the leaf itself. So sure enough, I can make it stand out pretty much as perfectly as I would like. And if you notice any type of a glow or a shadow or anything, the reason why is probably because, like in this case, this is kind of a light color. It's not too bad, but just make sure to kind of match it up with the other surrounding colors. But I think it looks really nice. So you can put a bit of a blur in there if you want to. But the other thought here was that we could like desaturate the color. So I can go to the saturation and I can desaturate it so it looks like everything else is dying, and you can have that leaf there. Now, what I would also encourage is possibly editing that leaf to be that color or the shade that you want it to be, to bring it up more. Let's see, darken. Yeah. I don't know. It depends on what you're going for in your image and all that. Also, you can change like some hue saturation. Ooh, you can go get a really warm color tone. Then like you could leave this one just chilling, doing its thing. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea. It almost ends up looking fake, even though that's what the original photo would have looked like. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on that. But I thought that was neat. Other things in here. On my adventure, I took this nice photo of a Canon lens. That was kind of fun. Just in the grass there. I love the artwork. I love the designs of some of these different tombstones. We have the different designs that you can, mess around with and things. I brought with me on my adventure. I brought with me my FZ1000 and my other camera, a little camcorder that I have. Nice little Canon camcorder, shoots 1080p. But it was nice to get some like establishing shots and things like that to show you the process of taking the different photos. So that'll be coming up shortly when I get that photo edited. Then just other photos like this where You go outside, you actually take your time. Oh, do I want to save this all out? I have all the pieces of the puzzle, so I don't need to save it out. So I'll hit no to that one. Ooh, speaking of which, now my PhotoScape X like totally crashed on me. That's weird. Well, odd. But yeah, no, you can go and get that photo in there. Maybe in just a magic color, bring some of those colors in there. But yeah, just I really like being able to take different product shots that I think look pretty nice. And just getting a clean shot of a product like that works really well. Also, it's pretty inexpensive on Amazon as well. What else? I really liked this stuff. Like the art here. Just think of the time or the effort that would have to be put in. I would love to know the process of how they make some of these. Because sometimes you just look at it and you say, wow, that's expensive. And yeah, some people, they did really well in life and they were able to afford something like that. But wow, it does look really, really stunning, for sure. Other photos in here, we got different photos of leaves further away. This was an interesting thing. So I set up my camera and I was taking some different photos. Let me see. Some different photos here. And the issue that I realized when I got back from taking all those photos was my camera settings in here. And actually, do they showcase my camera settings? It doesn't for some reason, which is kind of odd. I know I was shooting RAW, but I ended up shooting at, unfortunately, a 5.3 or some kind of like higher number aperture. So then I didn't get that background change like I was hoping, that blur, that bokeh effect. So then those images, they didn't turn out half as good as they could have. So I actually rode my bike all the way back to the cemetery and took some more photos, and those turned out a whole lot better. I'll show you guys those down the road. Also, it was fun because I got to go out. Did I get one that was, yeah, this one was nice and in focus. I had this little bee. It was the cutest little thing. This is a dandelion. It's so small. This focus actually was so nice because, like, when you get a really good high sharpened focus, you can see this little cobweb, spider web on the far side of this leaf connecting it to the other leaf. But this guy, it was also neat because you look close, he has pollen all over him. I think that's just a fun photo. That's a fun photo. You could edit that and do different stuff with it, but it's just a fun photo. You can't argue with that. I also was super surprised. My small little town has a SWAT vehicle. I don't think they use it very often, but I thought that was interesting. So if I ever get swatted, I know that they can do it locally. This photo was fun, along with these as well. But what was neat about this photo was I parked my bike, I walked over, and I'm like, is this centered? Okay, yeah, it looks pretty nice. And it's just neat. It's one of those fun photos that just look artistically just pleasing to the eye. And yeah, I'll probably mess with it, edit it. I was hoping that the brick wouldn't look as worn on these different sides, but I'll have to mess with it, see if I can make it look not as different. I'd love for it to look just super minimal of a photo. But yeah, that's my bike that I used to ride around town. It was fun, for sure. What else do I have? Let's see. Here's a close-up of the bike, Other photos. Here's a lake photo, and this is one where I'd probably hop into here. I'd probably have to straighten it a little bit if I wanted to get it like on the horizons nice. I'd have to figure out exactly how I'd want to do it, and then also maybe getting that watercolor back to where I would want it to be. Maybe pulling up some of the colors to get the leaves to be more dynamic. But I thought it was really neat. What would be the process of fixing the water? Is there a fast way to fix the water? I'd have to think about that. Because like what you could do is like some kind of color fill. I know that I've kind of used the color fill tool a lot, but you can never use a tool too much if you really make good use out of it. All right, so I can go up around in here. I can get this stuff. It's something where you'd have to really work and feathering different things in. Oopsie. I just want the brush size to change a little bit just so I can slide in here and put this in without all the craziness. Okay. So then I could change that color maybe to more of a... Ooh. Ooh, hey you guys. Look at that. Making that blue river a little more blue. That's super fun. Like, look at that, you guys. You look at the comparison to like this brown to something where it looks much more blue. It looks so much better. Like, you could do the same thing with the sky in this photo as well. Oh, whoops. That's a little too much. Almost too much blur. But no, I can bring back the sky, you know, a little artificially, but it still keeps the texture. And that's why I really appreciated just making that edit. Because look at that. It makes it look so much more fun, so much more like, oh, I want to jump at that river instead of what it looks like normally. You know, make reality look a little bit cooler. But that's using the color fill tool. I have another video all over that about how to change the color of my car. I thought that was really neat. Other things in this, my town, we have this tank that's in town. And this was probably one where I needed to do a higher aperture, but also I don't know if I can get the compression at 22 millimeters. I'm probably asking too much of the camera. But I thought it was neat to be able to get this photo in here. This tree, it's really stood out. I feel it looked a whole lot better in real life than it does in the actual photo. I just thought it was really cool. It was tight between a bunch of different trees, but I thought it was neat. What else? Nice orange tree here. But yeah, it would be making the edit something where you could make the tree maybe stand alone a bit more. The problem is it's just kind of clustered up and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, you can't always get things perfect. What else? Over here, I went to this bridge and I was able to do this. The sun was like right all over me. So like, this is going to be a little bit tough to get like any like really good shots. Oh, I kind of liked these. Basically, turn my body to the side. Let me turn this so you guys can actually see what it looks like. Turn my body to the side and get a nice shot there. It is kind of a Nike commercial. Not sponsored, by the way. But no, I think it looks really sweet. I forget if I think I probably forgot to, this is probably when I remembered that I had my aperture set to a weird number. But yeah, overall, I think a really fun photo. I think it's something where people don't take the time to take these photos enough. And having a good tripod, I was using the Joby Gorilla Pod 5K. You can use the 3K or even the 1K for some cameras. But I would definitely encourage you guys to get something that's strong enough to be able to do your camera where instead of doing it portrait mode, not landscape. So I thought that was really cool. Part two of my portrait mode photos that will be coming in the near future of how to edit portraits. You guys were wanting a part two, so I can definitely do that. So I went back and I took some more photos. I took a bunch of photos. Let's just go through a few of these. Missed focused. Here you go. I got focus here. It was interesting because I had a little weed or something that was in the way. So that kind of blurred there. But I thought it was really nice. Zoom in there. Nice sharp focus on my face. I think it's pretty cool. Like, obviously, this isn't a full frame sensor. This isn't like professional grade equipment, but I think it turned out really, really nice. And I did a few other photos, which were kind of fun. I'll have to look through and find out exactly what I really liked. But I did some emotion and stuff. But I did this one because I spent a while trying to catch a jumping photo just to show, hey, nice high speed photo being taken here in the air, totally vertical. And the thing is, I can use another photo to bring back the top of this photo because it's a nice photo. It's unfortunate that I got it cut out. This is just a little leaf that was just floating in the air. I can use, how do I blur that? Because it's a nice sharp part of the image. How do I get that out of there? Spot heal. Maybe spot heal will be my friend. Let's see. Come on, don't mess it up. Erg. Maybe I can use a localized blur to get that. Nope, 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 nope. Hardness and strength needs to be way lower. Way lower. Way lower. Maybe that'll be okay. Zoom out. Oh yeah, nah, that's fine. It just ends up not being as much of a distraction, which I like. So, how do you bring back, the top part of this image? Well, let me show you how I would do that. Let me think. There's different ways to do it, of course. Let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm gonna go to image. And maybe there's a better way of doing this. I know some people, they get all upset in the comments when, oh, Nathan didn't learn this process 100% before he taught it. It's like, guys, I show you what I learned, what I'm interested in, what I think is really cool, but I'm never running around saying, oh, yes, you guys, I am the 100% perfect YouTuber here. There's obviously ways I could do things better. Because they're not going to let me paint outside of this. I have to insert something. Maybe I could go to tool. All right, check this out. Maybe boxes. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that where I can then go outside of it. Okay, this is how you do it, guys. So, make opacity 0. Okay, no, we'll give it a little opacity. And we'll put it as a white color, just so I can see it a little easier. I'm going to swing this over here. Okay. So you got that in there. Nice. Now my question is, can I draw on that now? I cannot because it's not merged. Okay. So then check this out, guys. If I go back into insert, so I'm working with that insert thing. My question, can I merge it? Merge it. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Merge all layers. I click that. Okay. What am I doing? I am merge objects into the background. Okay. So this is showing that it's going to remove what's in the transparent, or it's going to keep what's in the transparent. I want to keep what's in the transparent. So now that is now part of the image. It is now perfectly part of the image. That was cool. I haven't actually done that, in a real way before. To kind of like learn on the fly. Some people hate me for it, but that's okay. All right, so then what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to go to draw. And I just want to get a base color down. I want to get a base color where I am just able to get that color of the sky back in and just remove that gray. I don't want the gray in there. Okay. Nice. I have to zoom in a bit more. I'm going to run in here and remove those colors. Nice. Okay. Now, do I have to do more to it? Oh boy, skies are really simple. Obviously, if I had to like make a tree continue out and something, like I got lucky. That's all I'm saying. I basically just got lucky. That's what happened. But what you could do is if you needed it to look a certain way, you'd go to draw. You'd get a color, another color that's in here. You'd get it. You'd go back over to draw, and you would just do some swipes, move around, mess around with it, get some of that color change in there, and just go back and get a slightly different shade again. And just keep messing with it till you think it looks really nice. Whoops, I got my hair a little bit. That's okay. And yeah, just get it to the place where you think it looks really, really nice. But for the most part, if you're like, rats, I almost cut my hair off there. Like, man, I really wish that photo was a little larger. The fact is, you literally can do that. It's just a matter of how well can you make it happen. And, you can zoom in and like be super picky about it. But I think that's really cool. So then when you go to like put this on Instagram or something and you're doing a 3x4, you can go and get this, depending on where you want to cut it actually. But you can go and do this where, yes, you can be in the air and still have a little bit of your head still in the photo. I think it's kind of fun. So that's just that. I thought that was neat. Other things in here, let's see, just other photos of me, you know, smiling, jumping, looking ridiculous, and all that. I thought that was really fun. I took some different just establishing video shots of some stuff. I thought that was cool. I also thought it was really neat because oh, good. Whoa. Why is it? It's definitely not smooth. Yeah, I'll have to mess with that more. But different video footage. I don't know if the video player in PhotoScape X is really good, but it works out okay. But yeah, you guys. So that was just some different photos that I took. And yeah, I thought it was a fun, adventurous thing that I got to do. So you guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. But hopefully you were able to learn some things and also get some links to some of my other tutorials where you're able to learn more about PhotoScape X and how to do some different editing processes. So without further ado, I'm going to go see if I can make myself fly a little more. All right, you guys, talk to you later. Bye.